What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Jojo Rabbit, directed by Taika Waititi. Alright, so I'm going to do my best to keep this review as short as I possibly can. My overall thoughts on Jojo Rabbit, I enjoyed it immensely. I thought this was a really hugely entertaining movie. I do got some qualms with it here and there, but for the most part, I thought this was really good. Uh, let's break it down. The overall story of this movie is about a young man named Jojo who is aspiring to want to join the Nazi party. You know, he's a Nazi fanatic and he's obsessed with Adolf Hitler to the point where he views Adolf Hitler as an imaginary friend. And when Jojo discovers that his mother is hiding a Jew within inside their house, it kind of it starts to change the way he looks at things because he starts to befriend this Jewish girl named Elsa, and it kind of starts to complicate his life a little bit because they start to get close and they start to form a really strong brother sister relationship as the movie progresses. And right off the bat, I think the portrayal of Jojo and Elsa, I think these two young actors were really good in this movie. They anchor it for the most part. These are the two leads, and they work really well off one another. The young man who plays Jojo has a really good, innocent charisma to him. He's very energetic on screen. He doesn't come across as cringy or whiny. He comes across as a young boy who you like because he's just a 10-year-old boy whose mind is being warped. But you can't help but like him because there's a lot to like about him. And on the flip side, you have Elsa, who in Jojo's mind is this evil Jewish girl because of what the Nazi propaganda has corrupted his mind to want to be like. But as he gets to know Elsa, it comes to conflict with what he's been programmed to know with the Nazis. And I like how Watiti handled that. And he handled it really well, and he handled it in a very mature and respectful way for me, while adding some satire and humor to it. So that's all great. Sam Rockwell's in this movie. He plays a guy called Captain K, and I thought Rockwell in this movie was hysterical. I love Rockwell as an actor, and I thought in this movie he was great. I like the chemistry that he has with Jojo, the mentorship. It's like a mentorship, which is also like a flip side of how the imaginary Hitler mentors Jojo himself. You got Captain K, who is kind of like the other side of that coin, and I thought it really worked well. Really worked well. Really done well. And I like how Captain K kind of comes across as like an unofficial father figure to Jojo. And like I said, the chemistry between Sam Rockwell and the actor who played Jojo, really well done. And Sam Rockwell just himself is hysterical. Uh, Scarlett Johansson's in this movie. She plays Jojo's mom, and I like Scarlett. I like Scarlett Jo in this movie. She has a very warmth. She brings a warmth to this movie, and she tries to ground Jojo the best way that she possibly can, and it works. I like the scenes between them. You can tell there's a love between the mother and the son, and ScarJo is a really good actress, and she brought that to life. Uh, let's waste no now. And Taika Waititi plays Hitler himself, and I thought Waititi as Hitler, he was very entertaining. He was grossly entertaining as Hitler. I don't know how Waititi did it, but he managed to make Hitler into a funny character. And knowing the kind of man that Adolf Hitler was, it kind of makes you uncomfortable to laugh and be charmed by the scenes of Jojo and Hitler, because the way Waititi shoots it, he shoots it in a way where Hitler he comes across as a lovable goof in some scenes, and then in the last half of the movie kind of takes a dark turn, and Hitler and the imaginary Hitler starts to become a little bit more aggressive with Jojo. And Waititi all throughout did a good job with his performance, and I like the chemistry he has with the actor who played Jojo. It was fun. It was good seeing. It was really fun to see. Also, Rebel Wilson is in this movie as well, and she plays a Nazi commandant. Now, I don't think Rebel Wilson is a funny comedian at all. I think her humor can be really cringe. However, with that being said, I thought she was exceptionally funny in this movie. And I'm coming to realize that Rebel Wilson, when she's given to you in small doses, and she doesn't have her style of humor, she can actually be really funny. And I found her to be really funny. Like, some of my favorite scenes have Rebel Wilson in them, and I thought she was really funny. And I think Watiti knew to play to her strengths and not to her weaknesses, and that and no, he gave you her in small doses, so you were able to stomach her humor, and it didn't come across as forced and cringe as to me as how her humor plays out. Not only that, they try to push Rebel Wilson as a leader as a lead actress, and she's not a lead. She's a supporting. She's a supporter, and in this movie, it plays to Rebel's strength, and I gotta applaud Watiti for doing that. You made an actress who I don't care about. You made me like her and laugh at her jokes. I thought she was legitimately funny in the scenes that she was in, playing like this teacher at this school for young aspiring Nazis. I thought she was hilarious. Now, now I want to talk about the overall production value of this movie. This movie is well shot, and This movie is well shot and really well directed. I like the cinematography in this movie. I thought Waititi really captured the period of Nazi Germany. The costumes look great. The sets all look great. You know, the German accents they all work for me. I think the funniest one of the whole movie is Stephen Merchant, who plays a Gestapo. I just thought and it's a very short role that Merchant has, but it's hysterical and it's laugh out loud funny, and at the same time it has a good suspense to it as well. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch the Stephen Merchant scene, which happens like in the middle of the movie. It's both funny and tense all at once, and Watiti did a really good job at balancing out those two different tones. Now, where I think this movie kind of falls off the wagon a little bit. Now, the first 2/3 of this movie have an overall light tone to it, but when you get to that last half, the movie kind of takes a really dark turn, and it happens when Jojo sees his mother pretty much dead and being pretty much dead from a hanging in the middle of the town square. And to me, that's where the movie kind of takes a really dark turn to it, because then you have the backdrop of a war happening in the middle of Germany. People are dying. You know, Captain K is all bloodied up, and Watiti is still trying to implement the humor that he had all throughout the movie. But to me, it's kind of contrasting with like with the viciousness that's happening in the background. And by viciousness, not meaning it's visceral what you're seeing, but in terms of how the rest of the movie has been portrayed, it's kind of a jarring shift that happens like really late in the movie. And when you're watching it, you know, it can be a little bit jarring here. It can be a little jarring seeing this light-hearted comedy. Then it takes like a dark twist near the end of the movie to like this somber-ish type movie where it starts to get more serious. I think that tonal shift. I'm not really a big fan of movies that take drastic tone shifts. I prefer a movie that has a consistent tone all throughout. To me, Jojo Rabbit. Now the movie doesn't fall off the rails. It just comes out of nowhere and it gets really jarring because now it feels like I'm watching a completely different movie. So yeah, that's like my main criticism is the tonal shift near the end of the movie. But aside from that, the rest of this movie I think is highly entertaining. I enjoyed it immensely, and I'm gonna give Jojo Rabbit my approval rating of a solid 8 out of 10. I highly recommend this movie. It's really, really enjoyable. So yes, those are my thoughts on Jojo Rabbit. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I will check you back next time for more.